Did you know that the average person feels profoundly lonely at least once in their lifetime? Yet here we are in a world more connected than ever before. But deep down, many of us are searching for a real connection, a cure to the silent epidemic of loneliness that's sweeping across our lives. It's a paradox that's both intriguing and deeply human, and it makes you wonder, doesn't it? How can we feel so alone in a crowd? How do we navigate these waters when the maps of old don't seem to match the terrain of today's world? Well, what if I told you that the answers we're searching for might just be hidden in the wisdom of the past, in the teachings of Stoicism? This ancient philosophy, practiced by some of the greatest minds in history, offers not just a way to face adversity, but a guide to living a fulfilling life, connected and content even in our modern, fast-paced world. So if you've ever felt that pang of loneliness, or if you're just curious about finding a deeper sense of peace and connection, stick around. We're diving into the Stoic strategies to combat loneliness, to live a life rich with meaning and joy. Let's explore together how these ancient teachings can be surprisingly applicable and profoundly effective in our lives today. Trust me, it's a journey worth taking when you hear movement. What comes to mind? Jogging at dawn, yoga sessions, or maybe the gym? Well, sure, all of that counts, but let's peel back the layers a bit more. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who were all about wisdom and resilience, they saw movement as something deeply profound. They weren't just talking about physical fitness, no. It was more about being in harmony with the world around us. Imagine moving your body not just to build muscle or lose weight, but as a way to connect with the very essence of life. It's like sending a signal to every part of your being that says, hey, we're in this together. Think about it every time you stretch your arms up towards the sky or take a long, mindful walk. You're not just moving, you're conversing with your soul. You're telling yourself, I respect you, I'm listening to you, and I'm here for you. It's a form of self-care that goes beyond the physical. It's emotional, it's spiritual, and yes, it's incredibly powerful. But here's the kicker: embracing movement, as the Stoics did, doesn't require fancy equipment or a gym membership. It's about integrating movement into your daily life in a way that feels natural and joyful. It's taking the stairs instead of the elevator, dancing to your favorite song in the living room, or simply stretching during a break at work. It's making movement to celebration of what your body can do, rather than a punishment for what you ate for dinner. And why is this so important, especially when we're talking about combating loneliness? Well, moving your body releases endorphins, those feel-good hormones that light up your brain like a Christmas tree. But more than that, movement connects you to the present moment, to the world around you, and to your own inner strength. It's a reminder that you're alive, capable, and more resilient than you might realize. The Stoics, with their profound understanding of human nature, placed a huge emphasis on self-compassion and recognizing one's own worth. They knew something crucial, that we often forget: the importance of being kind and supportive to ourselves. They taught that the relationship you have with yourself is the most important one you'll ever have. So what does it really mean to be your own cheerleader? Imagine how you treat your best friend. You're there for them, right? Offering support, lending an ear, celebrating their victories, and picking them up when they're down. Now ask yourself, do you treat yourself with the same kindness, patience, and understanding? If the answer is no, then it's time to shift that perspective. Being your own cheerleader means acknowledging your efforts, forgiving your mistakes, and celebrating your victories. No matter how small, it's about reminding yourself, I'm my own best friend. This isn't just feel-good advice. It's a powerful tool against the loneliness and sadness that can sometimes sneak up on us. When you're your own best friend, you're never truly alone. You have a well of strength and compassion to draw from right there within you. But here's where the Stoic wisdom really shines through. They didn't just preach self-love in a vacuum. They understood it as part of the bigger picture of living a virtuous life. To them, being your own cheerleader wasn't about ego or self-indulgence. It was about recognizing your inherent worth and using that as a foundation to build a life of purpose and meaning. It was about being gentle with yourself so you could be strong for the challenges ahead. So how can we put this into practice? Start by catching those moments when you're being your own worst critic.
Replace that critical inner voice with one of encouragement and understanding. Celebrate your successes, learn from your setbacks, and treat yourself with the kindness you'd extend to your dearest friend. This shift in perspective can be incredibly empowering. It builds resilience, fosters a positive self-image, and most importantly, it reminds you that you're not alone in your journey. We live in a world that's always pushing us to want more, to achieve more, to be more. And sure, having dreams and goals is fantastic. It's what keeps us moving forward. But here's the kicker. Sometimes we get so caught up in reaching for what's next that we forget to appreciate what's right in front of us. Enter Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher king, and his timeless advice. He wasn't just ruling an empire. He was deeply invested in understanding how to live a meaningful life. And one of his key teachings, finding happiness, not just in achieving our goals, but in the very act of living, striving, and dreaming. It's a reminder that the journey, the everyday grind, the small steps, the setbacks, and the victories is where life really happens. Think about it. When you're running towards a goal, it's easy to think I'll be happy when I get there. But Marcus Aurelius would
say find joy now in the running itself. It's about being present, appreciating the moments of struggle and growth, and recognizing the beauty in the process. This doesn't mean you shouldn't aim high or push yourself. It means weaving satisfaction and gratitude into the fabric of your daily life. So how do we apply this Stoic wisdom in our lives? Start by taking a moment each day to reflect on what you're grateful for. It could be as simple as a good cup of coffee, a conversation with a friend, or the progress you've made on a project. It's about training your mind to notice and appreciate the good even amidst challenges. But there's more to it than just gratitude. It's also about redefining what success looks like instead of measuring success solely by the outcome. Consider the effort, the learning, and the growth that comes with each step. Celebrate the small victories, learn from the setbacks, and remind yourself that every day is an opportunity to live your values, to strive for excellence, and to find joy in the present. Ever caught yourself getting so tangled up in the day-to-day that you forget? There's a whole world out there. It happens to the best of us. We get zoomed in on our problems, our immediate needs and struggles until that's all we can see. But here's a fascinating thought. What if you could zoom out, way out, and look at your life from a different vantage point? This idea isn't new. In fact, it's a Stoic practice that's been around for centuries, known as the view from above. The Stoics, including great minds like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, often encourage this practice as a way to gain perspective on our lives. Imagine for a moment you're up in space, looking down on Earth from up there. Your life, with all its challenges and triumphs, is just a tiny part of a vast interconnected world. Suddenly the things that felt so big, so overwhelming, seem smaller, more manageable. But why is this perspective shift so powerful? Because it reminds us of the bigger picture. It helps us see beyond our immediate struggles, recognizing that life is a complex tapestry of experiences, people, and moments. This doesn't mean our problems aren't significant or worth our attention. Rather, it's about understanding our place in the grand scheme of things, which can be incredibly liberating and humbling. So how can we incorporate this Stoic wisdom into our modern lives? It's simpler than you might think. Start by taking a few moments each day to pause and remind yourself of the vastness of life. You can do this through meditation, looking at the stars, standing on a mountain, or even looking at maps or globes. The goal is to mentally zoom out and view your life from a broader perspective. This practice can have profound effects on how we navigate challenges. When you're feeling overwhelmed or stuck, remind yourself of the view from above. Think about the billions of people on this planet, each with their own stories, struggles, and joys. Consider the endless expanse of the universe, the countless stars and galaxies. It's a reminder that while our lives are important, they're also part of something much, much bigger. There's this undeniable strength that comes from facing challenges with others, be it tackling a tough hike, with friends pulling through a group project, or even navigating the ups and downs of life together. It's about that collective spirit, the sense of unity that says, hey, we're in this together. The Stoics were huge advocates for community and mutual support. They understood that life isn't just about individual triumphs and challenges. It's also about our connections with others, about turning the solitary I into the collective we, and in this transformation lies a profound source of comfort and strength. When we share our struggles, when we open up about our fears and work together to overcome them, we're not just helping ourselves, we're helping each other think about it. There's something incredibly powerful about knowing you're not alone in your struggles that moment when you look around and realize that others are facing their own battles, but are willing to stand by you in yours. This isn't about diminishing your personal experiences or struggles. It's about acknowledging that suffering is a part of the human condition and that there's strength in facing it together. So how do we embrace this Stoic wisdom in our daily lives? It starts with opening up, with being vulnerable. It's about reaching out for support and offering it in return, about building a community where everyone feels seen and heard, whether it's lending an ear to a friend in need, joining a support group, or simply sharing your story with others. These acts of connection can have a profound impact on our lives and the lives of those around us. But there's more to it than just emotional support. It's also about tangible collective action, working together towards a common goal, be it small-scale community projects or larger societal changes. Embodies the Stoic principle of mutual support. It's a reminder that our actions, when united with the efforts of others, can lead to meaningful change. Learning to suffer with others doesn't mean we revel in our hardships. Rather, it's about finding solace in the shared human experience, about discovering strength in our collective resilience. It's a call to action to support and uplift each other, to transform individual struggles into shared victories. Imagine you're caught in a metaphorical storm, the winds howling, rain pouring, and it's just you standing there. Stoicism doesn't say stand alone and take it. It says know when to say, hey, can someone pass me a shield? Because, let's face it, there's undeniable strength in numbers. It's about understanding that we're part of something bigger than ourselves, a community, a collective of souls navigating this journey of life together. Asking for help is really a testament to human connection. It's about acknowledging our limitations and embracing the fact that we're not isolated islands of existence. We're interconnected beings dependent on one another for support, guidance, and strength. And there's something profoundly Stoic about this realization. It's a recognition of our shared humanity, a nod to the idea that we're all part of the same cosmic fabric, each of us weaving our own thread, but ultimately contributing to the same tapestry. So how do we apply this Stoic wisdom in our day-to-day lives? First, by recognizing that it's okay not to have all the answers. It's okay to feel overwhelmed or unsure. What's important is how we respond to these feelings. Do we shut down and isolate ourselves? Or do we reach out, open up, and seek guidance? The Stoics would advocate for the latter, urging us to lean on our community, to find strength in the collective wisdom and experience of those around us. But here's the kicker. Asking for help is not just about receiving, it's also about giving. It's a two-way street. By allowing others to help us, we open the door for mutual growth and support. We enable a cycle of giving and receiving that enriches our lives and the lives of those around us. And in doing so, we embody the Stoic virtues of courage, wisdom, and community. Stoicism teaches us the value of knowing what's truly important and then sticking to it like glue. It's not about ignoring the world around you. It's about discerning what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Think of it like this. Your life is a journey, right? And on this journey, you've got your own personal roadmap, your goals, dreams, and aspirations. The Stoics would say that's your North Star, your guiding light. Now imagine you're on this path, and all around you, there's this constant buzz, social media notifications, the latest trends, news cycles, you name it. It's so easy to get sidetracked, to veer off your path and lose sight of where you were heading. But focusing on your path means remembering that North Star, even when the night is darkest and the distractions are at their loudest. Marcus Aurelius talked a lot about staying true to oneself and not getting lost in the chaos of external events. He'd say, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And that's incredibly powerful when you think about it. It's a call to maintain your course, to stay true to your journey, even when the world seems to be doing its best to pull you off course. So how do we do this? How do we keep our focus in a world that never stops talking first? By taking a moment every day to remind ourselves of our goals and values. What are you working towards? What's truly important to you? And then it's about setting boundaries. Yes, boundaries, it's okay to say no to things that don't align with your path. It's okay to take a step back from the noise and focus on what matters to you. But perhaps the most stoic approach to focusing on your path is understanding and accepting that there will be obstacles, there will be distractions. It's part of the journey. The key is not to let them deter you, but to use them as opportunities to strengthen your resolve, to practice resilience, and to reaffirm your commitment to your path. From the mightiest emperors to the simplest of folks, we all share the same fate. Everything changes, everything passes, and in this constant flux there's a beautiful, albeit humbling reminder to live fully and cherish every moment. Now you might think, well, that's kind of a downer, isn't it? But stick with me here. This isn't about dwelling on the morbid or getting lost in existential dread, quite the opposite. Actually recognizing the impermanence of things is about embracing the preciousness of the now. It's about understanding that since nothing lasts forever, we've got this incredible opportunity to make the most of the time. We have think of it as looking at life through a Stoic lens where Marcus Aurelius tells us, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. It's a powerful call to action, isn't it? It's not about fear. It's about motivation. It's a nudge to stop putting off what truly matters, to stop waiting for someday, because truth is all we have is today. But how do we embody this Stoic wisdom in our daily lives first? By practicing gratitude. Take a moment each day to appreciate the people around you, the experiences you have, and even the simple joys. It's about savoring the small things and finding beauty in the transient nature of life. Next, it's about living authentically. If our time is indeed limited, then why waste it on not being true to ourselves? Why spend it in pursuits that don't align with our values or bring us joy? The Stoics urge us to live a life that's true to our principles, a life that, when we look back, we can say was genuinely ours. And finally, it's about letting go of grudges, letting go of the past, and even letting go of the fear of what's to come. It's understanding that just as the seasons change, so too do the chapters of our lives, and in this constant change, there's growth, there's learning, and most importantly, there's the chance to start anew. The Stoics, with their profound wisdom, teach us that adversity isn't just something to endure, but something to embrace. They believe that every setback and every challenge is essentially the universe saying, let's see what you're made of. And it's in these moments, these duels of fate, if you will, that we have the opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Think about it this way. Life is full of moments that test us, that push us out of our comfort zones and challenge our resolve. But what if instead of bracing ourselves against these moments, we welcomed them? What if we saw each challenge as a chance to develop a part of ourselves we didn't even know needed strengthening? Imagine life throws you a curveball. Maybe it's a job loss, a failed project, or a personal setback. The initial reaction might be disappointment, frustration, or even despair. But here's where Stoic wisdom shines a light. Instead of getting knocked down by the curveball, you step up to the plate, ready to swing back with everything you've got. You ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? This isn't about dismissing the difficulty of tough situations or pretending they're not hard. It's about acknowledging the struggle and then finding the courage and resilience within to face it head on. It's about transforming adversity into a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. And the beautiful thing is, the more we practice embracing adversity, the more adept we become at navigating life's challenges. We start to see patterns, lessons, and opportunities for growth in places we never expected. We become more flexible, more adaptable, and more open to change. So the next time you find yourself facing a challenge, remember the Stoic approach, embrace the adversity, look it in the eye, and say, I see you, and I'm ready to learn from you. It's a powerful mindset shift that can change not just how you face challenges, but how you move through the world. Feeling down alone, or just plain overwhelmed, is akin to carrying around a boulder on your shoulders. And guess what? Even the wisest of the Stoics, those paragons of virtue and resilience, felt the weight of the world. At times they understood something crucial that we often forget. It's okay to feel. It's okay to be vulnerable. This is all part of the rich tapestry of the human experience. You see, Stoicism isn't about denying your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's about recognizing them, understanding them, and learning how to respond to them in a way that's healthy and constructive. The Stoics were big on wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, but they were also proponents of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. They knew that to face life's challenges with strength and dignity, one must first acknowledge and understand their own feelings. So when you're feeling down, when you feel that loneliness creeping in, or when the world seems a bit too much to bear, remember this. It's not just you, it's a universal experience, one that connects us all, and there's strength in that vulnerability, in admitting, hey, I'm struggling a bit here. It's the first step in lifting that boulder off your shoulders and setting it down. But here's the kicker. Don't just acknowledge your emotions in solitude. Share them. Talk to a friend, a family member, a therapist, anyone who can lend a sympathetic ear, because in sharing our vulnerabilities, we find strength. We realize we're not alone in our struggles, and that connection, that shared human experience, can be incredibly healing. The Stoics believed in the power of community and support. They understood that, while the journey of self-improvement and resilience is a personal one, it doesn't have to be a solitary one. We're social creatures wired for connection, and it's in those connections that we find comfort, support, and ultimately a way to lighten the load. The Stoics, with their profound understanding of human nature and the workings of the universe, were big advocates for meditation and reflection. They knew the value of carving out moments of quiet in their day-to-day moments where they could press pause on the external chaos and dive deep into their own thoughts and feelings. It's in these moments of stillness that they found clarity, peace, and most importantly, insights into how to live a virtuous and fulfilling life now. Applying this Stoic practice to our lives today might seem daunting at first. Our schedules are packed, our phones are buzzing, and there always seems to be something demanding our attention. But here's the thing, seeking stillness isn't about shunning the modern world or retreating to a cave, tempting as that might sound. Sometimes it's about finding pockets of peace amidst the noise moments where you can disconnect from the external and connect with the internal. Imagine it this way. Life is a bustling city, with cars honking, people rushing, and screens flashing. Seeking stillness is like finding a quiet park in the heart of that city, a place where you can sit on a bench, close your eyes, and just breathe. It's about pressing pause, even if just for a few minutes, to tune into yourself and the world around you in a more mindful, deliberate way. And here's the kicker. You don't need anything special to find this stillness. You don't need an hour of silent meditation at dawn, though. That's great, if you can manage it. Or a week-long retreat in the wilderness. All you need is a few moments of intentionality. It could be as simple as turning off your phone for a bit, going for a quiet walk without any headphones, or just sitting comfortably and focusing on your breath. The Stoics believed that it's in these moments of stillness that we can find our true selves, we can hear our own thoughts more clearly, understand our emotions, and gain insights into what really matters to us. And with that clarity comes a sense of peace, a respite from life's constant demands and anxieties. The Stoics had this profound understanding that life by its very nature is unpredictable. It's full of twists, turns, and the occasional pothole. They believed in embracing this uncertainty, not with resignation, but with a kind of robust peace. They taught that, while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond to what happens. So when we talk about accepting things as they are, it's not about passivity or throwing in the towel, far from it. It's about recognizing that some things are simply beyond our control. And that's okay. It's about focusing our energy, not on lamenting the what-ifs, but on embracing the what. This doesn't mean we stop striving or give up on our dreams and ambitions. Instead, it means we approach our goals with a sense of calmness and clarity, knowing that we've done our part and the rest, well, it's out of our hands. Imagine how freeing it is to let go of the need to control every aspect of our lives. Think about the storms of worry and anxiety we can avoid by simply accepting that some things are as they are. This acceptance allows us to move through life with a grace and ease that's not only admirable but deeply practical. And here's the Stoic twist. When we accept things as they are, we're not just surrendering to fate, we're aligning ourselves with the very flow of life. We're acknowledging that, like the seasons, life has its cycles of growth and decay, success and setback, and in this acceptance, there's a profound peace to be found, a solid ground to stand on amidst life's constant changes. So, the next time you find yourself caught in a whirlwind of what-ifs, take a deep breath, and remember the Stoic wisdom: focus on what's within your control, do your best, and then let the rest unfold as it will. Accept things as they are, not because you have no influence on the world, but because it's the most effective way to live in harmony with it. And there you have it, a journey through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism tailored for our modern lives. Remember, it's not the challenges we face, but how we choose to respond to them that defines our path forward as you move through your day, your week, your life. Carry these lessons close to your heart. Let them be a guiding light in the dark, a reminder that even in the midst of chaos, there's a well of strength and serenity within you, waiting to be tapped. Thank you truly for joining me on this journey today. You're not just viewers, you're an integral part of this Stoic journal, a community of thoughtful seekers and resilient spirits. If you found value in our time together, consider exploring more by watching one of the suggested videos on your screen. Dive deeper, keep questioning, and keep growing.